Here today we got something pretty fun. So it's been a little bit since I made some Honkai videos, but I do want to talk about Blade and KAFKA before these two go in release. Blade is our first banner for 1.2 to go and expect. So today, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe helps out a ton. Let's jump into this and let's have a discussion about Blade real quick. So I do want to mention it, Blade is a very strong character and a very fun character. Whatever I say in this video, also I want to make sure shouldn't force you or really deter you from pulling. Pull for a character you like. If you were planning to pull for him, pull for him. If you were planning to skip him, just hear my points out so you understand. Maybe he is a character I want, or if it's not, just move on. KAFKA is around the corner. I think there is more hype for that character than there is for Blade, but Blade is still a very strong character and can be very good as time progresses in this game, which I really want to mention. So with that, let's jump into it and let's just talk about everything. First thing, you already know how Blade works. You've seen endless videos or just the stream itself that described how Blade's kit works. This is a character, and this is something that more characters along the line will kind of adapt, and that's how they'll be built. You'll have Blade here, which damages over time, or rather takes damage, wants to take damage too, and will consume those pieces of damage into more attack, right? That's the entire point of this character's kit. If you were to look at it in the kit breakdown, consumes HP equal to 26%, or again, whatever percentage, of Blade's max HP and deals wind damage equal to the sum of 36% of his attack and 45% of his max HP to a single enemy. In addition, deals wind damage equal to the sum of 18% of Blade's attack and 45% of his max HP to adjacent targets. But again, that could change. Who knows, right? All right. But again, that is worth mentioning. This is what Blade does. Blade needs to drop HP, then he will do a lot of damage. He's sort of, if you look at it like a Hu Tao, in a format, don't quote me like exactly Hu Tao, but in a format, it's definitely Hu Tao. If you look at it, there are characters in the future that will follow the same method, which again, I can't get into, but you probably know. Comments. Go ahead, go and say what you want, right? But that is there. There are things in the future that will be along the same kit thing. So if you were to pull for a character like this, and maybe tag team, we'll see how the theory crafting goes, but this character could kind of work with the character in the future, not saying too much, which could be a really cool team comp. Yeah, it's a DPS character here, DPS character there, add in the healer, and you got a nice little match made in heaven, which definitely could be good. Again, if you've invested into a character like Luocha, which was recently just on a banner, there is a lot of potential between these things, and I do think that if you did already plan to summon for Luocha for the reason of going for Blade, best of luck. I hope it goes well for you, and I hope you get what you're looking for, because I do think Luocha plus Blade can still make an outstanding team comp, though there has been some changes, and I do think that with all the potential that's there, it's going to be good. I just really hope that people that invested into both characters can pull both characters and can get what they want from it. But I do think that as time progresses, this will be a very powerful character. But you also have KAFKA. KAFKA is right up next, and that is a character also based off the Dot team, which also has a lot of potential. I do think that it's just pick your poison, pick who you want, go with it that way. If you want one character but you want the other, you'll have to pick one of the DPSs and then progress onwards. Remember, the pity is pretty high here. You're not going to get both potentially, unless, hey, you're winging it, you're just dumping in the summons and seeing what happens. Definitely that could work out for you. But again, when it comes to DPS characters, just pick who you like and who you think that will work and who can kind of fit into your team comp perfectly. I think that's the best way to definitely approach this entire update, because based off everything, right? A lot of us already have an idea and have already kind of formulated KAFKA's team before, waiting for KAFKA, or we've already formulated something for what Blade is, right? We formed that entire idea of what healers this, what healers that, because, we want to pull for Blade, correct? So we're all in an area where we already have that idea. If Luocha, if getting Bailu, or if getting anything of that sort was already your plan, then you've already kind of committed, correct? But still, again, beyond that, just make sure that you are aware of what you wanted to go for originally. If it was that you want to go and build, again, Blade properly, get him a healer, he's good to go, right? The truth is that, yes, Natasha is a healer, but she will be swallowing up those skill points in order to make it happen. I still think that what Blade is more efficient on the skill point usage, so maybe teaming him up with somebody also skill efficient is kind of a nice thing. There's a lot of things you can kind of happen here. I do think that, again, the team comp with Luocha is perfect, though, again, it's not saying that Bailu isn't perfect and that Natasha isn't perfect. It's just more of an ideal thing here. But you do, again, in the future, beyond this, if you do plan on pulling for KAFKA, that's a whole other team comp you have to start building. If it is that this is a character you're looking for, that's another team comp you have to start building, right? Then if you look at it further, a character like this, we're all in different areas, right? So again, Fu Xuan is more of a character like you pulled Silverwolf, you pulled what is it? Zila, that's there. So you're already on a different area. That's no reason to pull for Blade. You're building a different team comp unless you just want Blade for the reason of wanting Blade, right? Then again, KAFKA is dot team, so you've already built dot team. So again, it's more of a thing of what you built, what you already had the idea for, and what you're already full sending your equipment and materials for. That's more of the play here. And again, if you were to look at like the supporting roster of the banner, it's definitely not a bad banner. It's pretty good. You have Arlon, you do have Shu Shang, and you do have Natasha. Pretty much getting Eidolons for these characters are pretty nice. I would say that KAFKA is more so more of my style of a banner due to the fact that at first I want to build KAFKA, and also getting those Eidolons for the characters that are going to be more so on her team, the dot team, kind of works out, right? So again, that is another thing to point out. I think Shu Shang with her Eidolons is a very powerful character. Which, where the hell is Shu Shang? Where the hell is she? Am I blind here? Oh, she's right there. Oh my god, I am blind. But again, if you were to read the Eidolons for this character, you can kind of see there's a lot of potential here, right? After using the skill against a weakness, weakness broken enemy regenerates 1 skill point. Reading through this, her Eidolons are pretty strong. So pulling for a character like this, getting some Eidolons for it, it's pretty freaking nice. Getting the Natasha's Eidolons also, it's kind of good. So yes, the banner is pretty nice for building some sort of team comp with Blade. That is worth mentioning. So again, at the end of the day, it's up to you and whatever your decision is. You do have other banners to look forward to. It's a DPS character. It is true. If you've already full sent your entire progression for building a character like this, which again, you're not only building it for just Blade. There are other characters in the future that will have this kit that we already know of that I can't say much about, but they exist. And if you're not just trying to build for Blade, you could kind of already have that idea for content or characters that will formulate the same kind of drain HP into equaling more damage. That is a thing that a lot of games kind of also implement in some sort of way, which there's another character in the future that can work very well. So you might be not even just building for Blade, but to build for that character also. So again, in the time that it comes, you have Blade to use, and then when that character releases, you have that, and you can just keep swapping or even kind of craft a team with a character on it. I do think there's potential for both options here, which is always worth mentioning, that you're not just pulling for one, potentially you're building it for future characters too, which again is true. So at the end of the day, there's a lot to look forward to with this character. I do think always, and the biggest point to ever know, is a DPS character can always be used in any sort of team. You can always also pick a different DPS character, correct? It's just DPS, okay? At the end of the day, whatever type of character you want to run, if it's a character that does damage over time, as popped up here, a character that drains and then does damage equal to that, or a character that just flat out, like Zila, does pure damage and then can, keep on being able to do that damage. An AoE character that can kind of wipe off the board in comparison to a character like, again, Jiggy1. There are all these options. There's different characters to build, different characters to go for, but it's always mentioned that a DPS can just be another DPS if you want it to be. Fully up to you though, correct? So again, right now we have a DPS update, I would definitely say. So just have fun with it, jump into it. If you like Blade, go for it. He's a pretty strong character. Just make sure you have his team comp kind of formulated properly. Don't pull for him if you have no idea. Like getting Bailu is a thing, or Luocha. If you're just running pure Natasha, it won't be the best, but it will still be pretty strong, right? Definitely is. But if you're already kind of built up the process with other healers and you're ready to go, then do it. If you just like Blade, you're gonna make it work regardless of anything, then go make it work. I'm not gonna stop you, right? Again, make sure the team building is also in the back of your head. You can't really put him up with a character like Japard. His whole point is to take damage. That's the entire point of the kit. So trying to stall him from taking damage is not the best idea. So do keep that in mind also. But yeah, that's just some also little quick tips that I wanted to mention. Remember, it's all about team building, and if at the end of the day you have already stuff ready for him, just pull for him. He's gonna be a good character. Though it's not like a must-have, definitely a DPS can just get replaced within the DPS at the end of the day if you want to, and you have a different team that you can build. So simply put, that's what I wanted to mention. Thanks again for watching. Just a quick little video here to get my thoughts out before the character does go on release. Hopefully you can understand it, and hopefully it helped you out a little bit. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, and peace out and enjoy.